Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being connected to Headlines, your weekly news session program on radio television of Burkina Faso. The National Assembly of Burkina Faso has a new president. His name is Alassane Bala Sakandé. Alassane Bala Sakandé is succeeding the late president Salifou Diallo, deceased in Paris on August the 19th. The fresh president was elected on Friday during a parliamentary session in accordance with the rules of this institution. Who is Alassane Bala Sakandé? How was he elected? Back to the event with Mouni Subega.
Bala Alassane Sakandé is the new president of the Burkina National Assembly. He was elected by the majority of MPs. Bala Alassane Sakandé is replacing the former president Salifou Diallo, who died on August 19, 2017. Just after his election, he took the floor. In his speech, President Bala Alassane Sakandé paid tribute to the former President Salifou Diallo. He says he's taking the commitment behind his colleagues MPs to walk on the footsteps of his predecessor and to fulfill his mission. The new president says he's stretching his hands to all MPs, whatever they are, from the majority party or from the opposition, in order to respond to the aspiration of the people of Burkina Faso. The new president is a less-known personality in the political sphere in Burkina Faso. Most of the Burkinabe have discovered this man during the presidential and the parliamentary election of 2015. Before his election, the new president Bala Alassane Sakandé was the majority MP's leader at the National Assembly. He is part of the first supporters of the MPP party since its creation, and he's also part of the executive leading committee of the ruling party. The new president is a bank executive senior. Bala Alassane is graduated in Master in International Commerce and Business. He is 48 years old. Most of the MPs say he's qualified for this position, but they are expecting him to be a man of consensus and to work for the unity of all MPs of National Assembly of Burkina Faso.
After a month of vacation, the government is back to resume. All the ministers resuming are coming with the pending work to achieve. For the Minister of Defense, Jean-Claude Bouda, the real challenge of his department will be focused in the fight against terrorism. For the one in charge of Higher Education Department, the usual task will be the normalization of the academic year at the University of Ouagadougou and the welcoming of freshmen. For Clément Sawadogo, Minister in charge of Civil Service, his department will soonly revise the law-abiding labor. At the Ministry of Finance, they are preparing the 2018 budget, and not only that. Many conventions are about to be signed for financing projects, so it is with a complete team that the cabinet meeting started at Kosiam. Nathalie Sommet, the president of the High Council of Communication, called CSA in French, is under arrest. Under a detention warrant at Mako, the civilian prison of Ouagadougou, she is prosecuted for embezzlements, forgery, nepotism, and so. Nathalie Sommet is accused for having stolen about 2 billion CFA francs during the organization of the coupled presidential and legislative elections of 2015. A handover ceremony at the 3rd Gendarmerie Region. A colonel is replacing another colonel. Blaise Ouedraogo is replacing Serge Alain Ouedraogo at the head of the 3rd Gendarmerie Region, which comprises many towns, of which Ouagadougou, Fada, Tenkodogo, and so on. It was in the pure military tradition that the ceremony was organized. He says his first challenge is to secure the capital city and the other cities. And following the different terrorist attacks, some investigation will be carried in order to determine the weakest points and adopt new security measures. Let us talk about security in the Sahel region. The Strategical Studies Center in Defense and Security organized during this week an international seminary on security at Ouagadougou. This seminary gathered many security experts from many countries and also some former presidents. Get some more details with Mouni Subega.
They are security experts and security actors. In Ouagadougou, they met to find solutions to restore peace and security in the Saharan area of Africa. According to the Executive Director of the Security and Defense Strategic Studies Center, the outcome of the forum showed that the African continent is able to satisfy its needs in terms of strategic consideration. Dedis Bari says fighting terrorism requires a certain number of preventive measures like the promotion of development in order to avoid radicalism among the population. The forum also recommended to reinforce researches to understand the different causes of radicalism. It seems that unemployment of young people and the financial issues are some of the causes of radicalism, but for me, tensions between different communities can also explain this situation, says this community leader who took part in the forum. Therefore, different participants also pointed out the lack of implementation of suitable policy in the Saharan areas as the main cause. Initiatives say recommendations of the forum will be submitted to African leaders.
Among the partakers of this seminary were some authorities coming from abroad. The one we're going to listen to is coming from Ghana Republic, John Jerry Rawlings, the former president of Ghana.
The terror activities on the continent have grown rapidly with an increase in not only the number of terror attacks occurring, but also the count of countries affected by such activity. In January of last year, this country was faced with the biggest nightmare of having to deal with a terrorist attack at the Cappuccino restaurant and at the splendid hotel here in Ouagadougou. All in all, 30 people were killed and 176 taken hostage. 5 weeks ago, this city again had to endure another painful experience when an attack was mounted on a Turkish restaurant and a hotel, killing 18 and injuring 25. We cannot also forget the terrorist activities that occurred in Côte d'Ivoire June last year when gunmen opened fire near the Étoile du Sud hotel, which was full of expatriates, nor the attack on the Ambassador Hotel in Mogadishu. The implications of these activities must not be underestimated, and that is why it is commendable for the establishment of institutions such as the G5 Sahel as well as the Center of Strategic Studies in Defense and Security, which must be hailed as a progressive think tank for its efforts to address this global concern and prioritize this region. Terrorism is a major distraction for African governments. Covering more than 20% of all the landmass on Earth, the African continent has more than half of the world's natural minerals and resources. If Africa were to unite and make good use of her resources properly, she would have the 7th largest economy in the world with a GDP of $2.39 trillion. And instead of focusing on how we can build our continent by making the utmost use of our natural resources, how we can fight against the pillaging of these resources, or how to provide better healthcare, education, roads, or build a resilient economy, we are forced to be preoccupied with this phenomenon of terror on the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having to shift our attention to defense and security, much to the detriment of socio-economic development. This inevitably leaves Africa at a disadvantage with her growing numbers. We must strive to tackle this problem of terror once and for all, so as to focus our attention back on national and regional development. Without that, our governments will forever have split visions.
Still talking about security, this time about a wonder performed by the custom office of Bobojulaso. Many tons of unauthorized medicines and drugs have been captured and destroyed at Bobojulaso. This seizure is composed of 30 tons of medicine, 15 tons of cannabis. The value in terms of money is estimated at about 2 billion local currency. In the same vein, at Gawa, southwest region, some fish unfit for human consumption have been captured in a fishmonger's shop. The fish is first conserved in a container before the transfer in a fishmonger, which has been judged improper for conserving this food. In less than a month, students are going to put an end to their vacation and go back to schools and universities. Many parents have started to purchase books and copybooks for the kids in order to prepare the beginning of classes. If some find the prices high, for others the prices are good. Last week, the Ministry of Higher Education delivered a report on the different private high schools and universities functioning in Burkina Faso. This report also ranked them from the first to the bottom. And about that classification, many private universities and high schools promoters are not very happy. We met the president of the Private Teaching Institution Union, Issa Compaore, to have his views.
Our association and our members are very available to accept the evaluation, and it is something we have done in the past. Our council, that is called CAMES, is the example that our members is very interested to have an external evaluation. Several years before, we have been sending our programs to this institution for evaluation. So the problem is not to accept or not the evaluation. The main problem is the method. First of all, we cannot evaluate someone without giving him what is the main point from what he will be evaluated. This is the main problem. In the document that is organizing the higher education, it is clearly noticed that before making the classification, we have to make a ministry order to specify what is the point, how people, how the institution will be, the marks will be on what point or what aspect of the organization. This case haven't been done, and after this evaluation, we think that it's better. It is kindly the best way to send the report to the main interesting people. Our members should have the report first. We shouldn't have to read it like other people in the media. That is a very, very important problem. So we can say that this report is not good at all. It's not good at all. And we think that we have begun discussing with the ministry to see how they can correct, so we hope that a solution will be found to correct the situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching us. Headline is over, but before leaving, let me share with you this proverb. Wisdom is better than strength. Wisdom is better than strength, meaning that it is preferable to use one's intelligence than one's physical strength. See you and take care.